then we move. Then it's like, and now it moves. So it's telling you how you're going to be altered, transmuted, and changed, because this has been given to you. It's telling you the process of going through the language and finding mother's mark and father's mark, because there's a measurement of the anointing that is meant to be given to change and alter you. Now we're shifting thought, and now it's moving into the word that means prophesy.
Okay. So now it'll differentiate the different gifts. Yeah.
Well, now this is actually a declaration that this is being prophesied over you. This isn't a separation of saying you are a prophet. This is saying that this is all being prophesied over you. Nabi, this is all being prophesied. And it's telling you that this prophetic word, this prophecy that's being prophesied over you, will be completed if you do what? So it's Nun Bet Aleph is the root. This is really profound, Regina. So let's take it back and think about this word. So Nabah, which means prophecy, has an aleph. So what were we talking about the root? What does the root mean? What is the root dealing with?
Heart.
And?
Source.
Right.
Heart and source. Yeah.
So in its static form, the aleph is there. So it's saying the heart is already one with Source Abba Creator. It's already there in the static form. So it's already in its lump of clay, infinite potential. It's already in that resting place of center point, of 0 point, as is. There's no distortion. There's no good or evil. There's no right and left. There's nothing. It's just in its static 0 point. Full potential is oneness. It's already there. It's a given. So what happens? Well, as soon as we're saying that we need to prophesy something because you don't know that your heart is already one with Source, now we have to put it into motion. So now there's a distortion. Distortion doesn't mean bad or good. It just means that energy is going into these frequencies to get you back to that static position of knowing that your heart and the Creator are one. And this is a prophecy that is a standing prophecy, standalone as is. We just don't know it yet. So how do we know it? Well, it's got to be put in motion now. So in the being putting into the motion, what is changed? What happened to the olive?
Turns into the yod.
Which is still connected, right?
Uh-huh.
So the purpose of prophecy is to give you a vision that is going to bring you into oneness unity. Taking it back to what its original form was. So that's just dealing with Nabi. That's just Nabi. So we're looking at that root position. The whole point of prophecy is dealing with your heart. That's what it is right here. It has nothing to do with your ego. It has to do with your heart. And how many of us, I'm pointing fingers back at me, how many of us have chased prophecy to declare something about who we are in our ego, when the whole point of this word right here is saying it's a heart issue. It's about here. It has nothing to do with the external, right? So then what do we see that it looks like prophecy is trying to achieve? Or should I say, how does this activate? How does this prophetic word, this vision being given, how does it come to pass? What are we supposed to do with it? Well, there's a couple things going on here. So Dalet, to spell the symbol, is Dalet Lamed Tov. So Dal or Dala is the root, and then it becomes Dalet. Dal means weak, feeble, ill, something dangling.
Destitute, yeah.
Something dangling that needs to be connected. But it also has to do with deliverance, has to do with a bucket dropped into a deep well and to deliver. So that is all connected. So mother's job is to begin the journey to show you, like when you start entering in through the door, that there's something that you're supposed to connect to. You're ill, You're feeble, you're sick, you don't know that. So mother's job is to start you out on that. And this is what I find really interesting. You did see the noon.
It does say you're pierced in the heart, though, right?
Because mother's job is to pierce you.
Yeah, right.
Because if you're not recognizing this, so here's a door that's been opened, but if it doesn't pierce you on the inside, then why are you going through the door?
Mm-hmm.
The door is meant to do that. And as soon as you're connected, you are now realizing that you're in a gathering mode, because it's Dagesh is spelled Dalet Gimel Shin. So now you're in a gathering mode, and you're going to have to go through the fire. And the fire is meant to deal with your lower beast ego nature, to sacrifice that on the altar of your heart, and that's what pierces us. So again, all of this is like, what are these things that are keeping us from the anointing? Again, you have to take a look at the whole first half of that, of what's going on. How do we alter and transmute and change us with this anointing oil that has been meant to given to us and graciously given to us through the language? And then it's reiterating. So now we're talking about, this is a prophetic message for you, but you have to go through the door. In other words, it doesn't do any good to have a prophetic message to you unless you do something with it. There's always an if on a prophetic message. It will come to pass if you enter through the door. So you have to walk through it. So it's being presented and given to you, but if you don't walk through it, it's not going to be yours. It's not going to alter, change, and transmute you, because you have to do something with it. It's not a gimme. It's like, there's lots of potential here, but are you going to go down that path? Are you going to go through that door, that prophecy, to make it happen? Because again, what are we doing? We're prognosticating, we're casting a vision for us to connect to with strong emotion so that we can create it to come into our field. But if you don't do anything with that information, it's not going to happen. It's not going to be brought to you in the quantum field for your experience. So then what do we have?
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the word Dan. Judge the prophecy. Judge it. Because it should be prophetically prophesying to you about that which you are meant to build on the inside, that is meant to give you power. So in other words, judge the prophecy. If it's about your ego, get rid of it. You don't want it. Oh, I see you being a preacher to thousands of people who are going to come up to you and have adulation. Blah. That is not the whole purpose of it if you want to be changed and transmuted and altered. It's saying, judge the prophecy. Is it talking about building you on the inside? That is huge. Okay. So, man, this is a good verse, Regina. We have the word for house, temple, right here that has an added vav in it. Is it building your temple on the inside where you connect to your heart? Because the vav is in there, right? Bayit, house, temple, but there's an added vav. So this is the process of building your temple, but the critical piece is, are you connecting to your heart? Which is also part of prophecy. Are you connecting to your heart? Oh, this is so good. Man, I'm feeling this big time. I'm getting a lot out of this word. To understand what the spirit of prophecy is all about and why. Because it should take us through the building process to lead us to being sealed in oneness unity. So now we're enveloped through the Father in oneness unity. Because we connected to Him in meekness, right? Now we have power under control. That is a huge word. That is a huge word.